media with me, man. You're welcome.
Buddy and Jimmy. We haven't done nothing yet.
Draymond declared that tonight Jimmy became Batman and Buddy went from Alfred to Robin. Do you guys have any comments on that declaration?
No.
I'll start out.
No. I'm Batman today. I saved the day. He's still Robin.
All right. Well, I'm still Robin, yes. And Steph's still Batman. And Buttered is still who he is.
I mean, Buttered.
But you had another good game, man. Except for that stupid thing you did at the beginning of the game when you didn't have on the right shorts. It's not real Robin and or Batman like.
Buddy, what happened with the wardrobe malfunction?
Jimmy switched it out. It was Jimmy's fault.
Okay.
Jimmy switched it out, and that's what happened. So I was looking for my shorts, and I thought it was the right one. He said, "Yo, put these on." It was the right, and that was the.
That's what you're going with.
Yeah, I'm going. It was Jimmy's fault. His locker's next to my locker. I was looking for my shorts. He said, "Yo, I can't find my shorts." Oh, I see there, and I put them on, and it looked just alike. And after that, got a fine for it. So it's cool. It was Jimmy's fault. Blame Jimmy.
Jimmy, I mean, obviously, you know there's always so much responsibility on you, but when you see Steph go down.
Responsibility in the shorts, too. Like I'm telling you, a lot of responsibility on him. He's not doing his job.
When you see Steph go down, what does that communicate to you? What are you trying to, and then what did you see from Buddy when Steph goes down?
Yeah, I saw Buttered be aggressive and make some timely shots and get stops in a big way. I think we all want 30 back. That is for sure. But we want him to do his best for himself, best for our group in the long run, in the long haul. And until then, we can hold down the fort. I know we can.
Jimmy, you've been through these types of things before. What psychologically happens to a player? You put everything into this, and then you can't play. Like, what is Steph going through?
It's tough. One of the greatest to ever do it. And he wants to be out there. I think he knows, and we know, how much easier the game is for us whenever he's hooping at a high level. But I think we're all prepared to compete and win without him. We don't want to, but we are prepared, and we may have to. So we'll see what it all means and what it all says come tomorrow.
Draymond mentioned that you two guys were kind of going back and forth in the huddle even. Do you feed off? I mean, we've seen you guys go back and forth. You're doing it right now.
Ask him why we going back and forth.
Why were you going back and forth?
Because when I'm not going to say exactly what I say in the locker room, but when I got a mismatch in the post, don't cut. Stay on the perimeter.
If you got a mismatch, you ain't gonna score the ball.
I am going to score the ball. I can't score the ball when you cut into my space. You're a shooter. You're not even a cutter.
Oh, you seen it score the ball.
You saw what happened when you shot a layup in the first quarter? Smokey Robinson, that's exactly what you did. Use the backboard, too. Exactly.
Do you guys feed off of this, though? I mean, is it like when you can do this, does it translate to what happens on the court?
It actually does, because I respect Buttered so much because he knows whatever I'm saying.
My name is Buddy.
But that's short for Buttered. He knows what I'm saying is always towards winning. Same thing that Draymond does and everybody. And you can talk to whoever you want to talk to like that in the moment, and then you move past it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had another something in the huddle. He was like, you know what, you're right. And we move on because the main goal is to win. He understands that I just want to win. I understand that he just want to win. So we're able to talk to each other.
Perhaps.
You guys got a lot of contributions up and down the line. I'm curious what you've thought about what Looney's done really in the last two games and what Spencer did today.
Yeah.
I mean, Pat was big. He came in, I'm sure you guys saw flashes in the Houston series where he's just being aggressive, just getting down the floor, getting stops, scoring the basketball. He's crafty. And Lone is a pro's pro. And whenever you call his number, he's always available. He doesn't pout. He doesn't complain. He does his job, and he does his job at a high level, and that's why he's a champion.
Facts.
You guys, Gary compared you to bickering brothers, and you're the little annoying brother, and you're the older brother.
And what Gary is?
I don't know. Maybe he's the middle brother.
The clumsy one, always doing the dumbest stuff ever.
You literally wore the wrong shorts. The audacity.
Do you think that this creates kind of a little family environment to?
Yeah, I think we really do enjoy being around each other. We really do enjoy when somebody else is playing great, and whenever everybody else is shining, everybody's happy. So it's a good feeling to have this energy.
And did this energy and relationship kind of help your? I mean, you when you got here, it seemed like it didn't take long for you to be part of the group.
We had to make sure he got his joy back because somehow he lost his joy. We're not going to say where he lost his joy, but somehow he lost his joy.
Why do you keep doing this? Do you even know what these are called? What are they called?
2 fingers. Are we done?
No.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Jimmy, Steph's obviously a very unique player, not just how good he is, but the way he plays. With him out, it seems like the offense has to change the way it functions. And obviously a lot of it's through you. How do you see what the offense needs to do? How would you describe what the offense needs to do if he's out for a couple games?
Ball just needs to move a lot more. Find the open guy, attack closeouts, get into the paint. And I guess it's going to be my job to draw a little bit more attention. Probably not as much as Steph does draw, but I got to find a way to score and get everybody else involved.
Jimmy, your belief in this team is steadfast, but to see this team win without Steph, a game 1 on the road in Minnesota in the semifinals, what does that do for this team?
I've said it before. Any team with me on it, I think has a chance, and I know that any team with Steph on it does have a chance. And my guys believe it too. They work so hard at their craft every single day. They don't shy away from any moment, from any matchup. They'll do whatever you ask them to do to make sure that we have a chance of winning. And we're going to need all hands on deck if 30's not ready to go.
Jimmy, you've always played within the construct of the team. You never really wanted to stand out, but in other stops, you've had to be a high usage guy. Are you prepared to take on that responsibility again?
If I have to. I'm not a volume shooter. Never have been, probably never will be. But I'm going to play the right way. If my guys is open, I'm going to pass it and I'm going to yell shoot it. And if they don't shoot it, I'm probably going to yell at them for not shooting the ball. And I'm just going to have to be efficient. I'm going to have to play hard. I know I'm going to have a lot of minutes coming my way. I trained for this, but we ready for it.
Jimmy, Steve said Buddy is a two-way player now. Like, how tough was it for you to mold him into that?
Me mold him? You know what? I do be frying him one-on-one, don't I?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
He had his moments.
I ain't gonna lie. Butler has been stepping up big time on the defensive side of the ball, for sure, to start out the games. And it's crazy because I think you had 2 points at half?
2 points, yeah.
But his defense was off the charts. And you got the toughest matchup in guarding Anthony Edwards. And then he came back still guarding at a high level and creating, making shots. Two-way player is a stretch, but Butler he's been key. He's been key.
I'm nice.
For both of you guys, Buddy, you finished with 8 rebounds. Jimmy, you came out and had 6 offensive rebounds in the first half. Just the mentality against this bigger team going up and getting those rebounds.
I think the mindset was boxing out Rudy Gobert. He got a fair share of them, but just box him out. We know what he did in the Lakers series and how effective he was, and we got guys was doing their work early to prevent that, and just gonna keep on continuing the boards. If he can continue the boards and get out and play our basketball and put the ball in Jimmy's hands like we all been talking about, and just trusting to make the right play, I think we'll be in good shape.
Jimmy, there was some hype about you coming back playing here for the first time since 2021. Did you notice the light boos and the response?
That doesn't bother me. But people do have to wash their mouth. You know, it's cool with the boos and all of that stuff, but you calling people out of their names and all of that stuff, which I can hear.
What they say?
You want me to repeat it?
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna repeat it. It's not good. That's unnecessary. The boos, I get it. I understand. Let's just keep it at that.
Yeah, watch your mouth.
Thanks, little bro.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are you good?
Can you kind of take us through the, I think you hit a big three, in the first quarter when Steph strained the hamstring. And I guess you guys are celebrating a timeout, but Steph's walking off the floor. Just kind of the emotions of all that.
Well, I didn't see what happened. I also didn't see that he had grabbed his hamstring. I just saw him limping a bit. So I walked over to him, tell him good pass, and he was kind of walking towards the locker room. And I said, "You good?" He was like, "I'll be back." And he just kept it pushing. But we didn't really know what was going on for a while. Several minutes, game time minutes, which, is a lot longer than just minutes. We didn't know for a long time. And then they finally told us it was a hamstring. Little deflating, but we knew, he did a great job of helping us build a comfortable enough lead. And Robin turned into Batman. What y'all call Buddy?
Alfred?
Alfred turned into Robin. And they filled in, so it was beautiful to see. And then everybody played great minutes. G came in, played great minutes. The hustle plays from Guy Santos, what did he play? 3 minutes? 3 minutes and 43 seconds, and he was hustling all over the glass, just wearing those guys down. It was beautiful to see. JK, great minutes. Guarding Ant, hit a big-time shot, timely cuts. Everybody who came in the game gave us something. Loon was huge off the bench, gave great minutes. And so, complete team effort, but we know this series will get tougher and tougher. Hopefully we get Steph back, but regardless if we get Steph back or not, that's a really good team with a lot of pride and a lot of talent. And the cohesiveness of that team has grown over the year. And so they're a together team, and we know they're going to come out fighting.
What was Steph's mood at halftime? We heard he kind of had the ice pack on his hamstring, and it sounded like he was a little deflated.
He was a little deflated, but he didn't. He tried not to show it. He was just in the locker room waiting on guys to come in, continuing to show that support, saying what he saw going on in the game. But it was a tough one.
You guys held Minnesota over 15 from 3 in the first half, and I just saw 88 points overall. Was there something special about defensive effort today, or just something you guys did that was extraordinary?
We flew around. We made extra efforts, which was important. We know this is a very, very good three-point shooting team. And we knew that we didn't want to give them uncontested looks. They starting to hit threes, they can roll. Saw that last series. And so that's, we're not going to hold them to 5 threes every night, that's for sure. But incredible job, incredible game plan put together by CD and Stack on the defensive end. I think guys did a great job of fouling it, but I think we can be a lot better.
Draymond, 18 offensive rebounds, 7 by Jimmy. How'd you play bigger than these Timberwolves?
I think, just being relentless. We talked about that before the game, just like, we got out-rebounded pretty badly in the Houston series. It's not necessarily that we're going to come out-rebound this team, although we did, but we can try to cut that back some. Let's not let that be a staple, and we're trying to outplay the rebounding edge. So, the 18 offensive rebounds was huge. Loon got some big ones. But in saying that, they missed a lot of shots. And it's important that we're not giving up offensive rebounds. Rudy did an incredible job starting that game, getting offensive rebounds. And we were able to clean it up a bit as the game went on. But Rudy's a great offensive rebounder, has been his whole career. Showed that a lot in that Lakers series. So it was something that we wanted to target, focus in on. But it's a complete team effort, man. It's tough to box out Rudy and go get the ball. So our guards did a great job of coming back and cleaning up those rebounds, and then it allowed us to get out and run.
You had 4 3-pointers. How much were you channeling Steph tonight?
No, don't put that on me. I just wanted to come out, be aggressive, and take open shots. I missed the first one, which felt very good, and the second one went. I shot the pick and pop 3. I was like, all right, that one went in. I'm gonna keep it rolling. So it was good to see the ball go through the hole, but I think I enjoyed the defensive end more still.
Steve said he's operating as if he's going to game plan without Steph for game 2 because of the tricky nature of a hamstring. How much falls on your shoulders for playmaking? You had 18, 8, and 6 tonight. Do you feel like you're going to have to do even more? Does your role change at all offensively without Steph?
I think, I have 4 turnovers again tonight, so I think just taking better care of the ball because your margin for error shrinks dramatically without Steph. And so we'll see what Coach has in store. I'm not going to come out and be like, oh, man, I need to be Steph. Like, I can't do that. But, I may have to handle a little more. We'll see, but just play my role, play the game, honor the game plan that Coach gives us. If that's me making more plays, then I'll try to do that. But we got Jimmy Butler still, who is incredible at making plays for people. So we'll just collectively continue to move the ball, try to find open guys, and try to make the right plays.
We've all seen the Jimmy Buddy dynamic, and they're both new to the team. They're just it's joking, it's laughter. But is there a competitive thing with both those guys that you see and you feel beyond the laughter, or is the laughter part of all that?
It's a part of it, but they have an incredible relationship. Y'all don't get to see everything, but there's times where they really go at it. That's just the nature of the game we play. They went at it in the huddle today. But it's great. You love to see guys engaged and, communicating back and forth to each other. But they have a great dynamic. Both of them playing great basketball for us is 2 great additions to this team this year.
Draymond, you talked about how your role might be different without Steph. How much different is the offense without Steph? Because Steve's talked much about Jimmy gives you another whole sort of identity. Mm-hmm. How much do you sort of lean into that now if Steph can't play for a while?
Have to, but we know what Jimmy's capable of. Jimmy's capable of carrying a team. He carried a team to a finals twice. So we won't panic. We'll figure out what that means. We have best coaching staff in the NBA. We know they'll put us in a good spot and let us know what our offense looks like without Steph if we have to go on without him. But we got full confidence in the guys that are on this team that we can make plays, we can make shots, and we know we got a guy that can make that first domino fall, and Jimmy. So we'll be all right.
Steve said you guys really need a day, and he's going to give you a day tomorrow. I'm just wondering, after a pretty grueling 7-game series, how did everything feel today for you, and how much do you guys need the day off? Huh?
You see me in the first half? You saw me bouncing to that pick and pop 3? I felt. This is what I train for. This is what we all train for, to get in these situations. Beautiful thing about the NBA is you play back-to-backs all year, so getting 1 day of rest is plenty. Anytime you can get a day, it's always great for the recovery. So I think we have an incredible training and performance staff. And they've taught me, but this team, everyone, so much about your body and recovery and how to expedite that process. And so we follow their lead, led by Rick, but the performance led by DT, and just try to take advantage of all the recovery tactics that we can. But I felt incredible going out there tonight.
As someone who's been through this a lot, what is it like watching some of these guys get their first, real high pressure, high stakes playoff moments? I know you're witnessing them kind of go through it. What is that like to watch?
It's great, because it takes you back to those moments when it was your first time. I always tell people when I've had the absolute honor and some luck to win 4 championships, and the first one was incredible. Everyone after that, the most joy, or you get the most joy out of watching the guys that won it for the first time and their reaction, because it just take you back to that moment. And watching these guys go through their kind of first test in these playoffs is great, because you see who stands up, who struggles a little bit, but as a leader, it's fun because you get to coach those guys through it. You get to grab their hand and walk them through. You get to boost their confidence, if they're having a rough stretch. And so it's always a treat watching guys go through it their first time. But it's on us, myself, Jimmy, Steph down, but Loon, guys who have that experience to coach them up and drag them through it.
How crazy is it that Pat Spencer could step into a playoff game and play like that?
Pat is a damn good basketball player, and I know he don't look like it. He don't just jump off the page at you when you see him in a basketball jersey. I don't think the number 61 helps him, but he's one of the toughest guys on this team. That includes myself. That includes Jimmy. Pat Spencer is tough as nails, and he don't always get the opportunity to play, but every time he gets the opportunity, he's ready. And I think one thing that he does is he's so big for this team. He's a voice on the bench for us, but he's selfless. And when you have guys that either play low minutes or guys coming back from injury, he goes and plays in those games. He dropped me off so bad when I was coming back from my calf injury. It was embarrassing. I went out there thinking I'm about to win games, and I pride myself on winning those games. And I couldn't get a win. I got one win, but I couldn't win. And he was talking crazy to me, and I couldn't do nothing about it. I was mad as hell. But that is Pat, and he brings that same energy every single day. He works so extremely hard, extremely intelligent, and he has a chip on his shoulder. He doesn't back down from anyone, and he's been a great addition to this team, a good find by our staff. I think he'll be around here for a long time because he just adds what he brings to the team. We're lucky to have him because he from demeanor off the court, he's one of those guys that he's always grouped in with young guys. But I think Pat's like 27, he's 28. He's lived some life, and so it's always good to have kind of an elder statesman in there with the young guys. And he's not an elder statesman as far as NBA experience goes, but life experience and smart as hell. So you incorporate him with them young guys, and even when we're not with them, they're still learning because you got a guy like that who's earned the respect. Like, it's not like, oh, man, that's Pat. And listen, no, he has everybody here, and it's beautiful to see him get those opportunities and produce.
Draymond, what's the mood of the team right now? I can imagine coming out there, it's like an adrenaline high. You win the game on the road, a second straight win. You go in the locker room, I'm guessing reality sets in about how hard the next few games are going to be.
That one was hard. They are hard games to win. Obviously, things get tougher if we got to go forward without Steph, but it's the same mission. We're trying to keep this thing going, win as many games as we can. So, I'm not going to let that reality set in right now. We'll start figuring that out tomorrow. I'm going to enjoy this win tonight, rest up, recover, and we'll get back to the drawing board. Like I said earlier, I think we got the best coaching staff in the NBA. They'll put us in a position to be successful, and it's on us to go out there and perform.
25 minutes, that's crazy.
Gary, what was the kind of, from your perspective, the mood, the atmosphere like on the bench when Steph goes out, when you find out he's not coming back tonight?
Every time he goes in the back, you hold your breath. But he's got us out of so many jams this season. So for us just to have us back for this one game, hopefully it's one game, guys just stepped up and made plays.
And how would you just characterize the collective team defensive effort against Minnesota tonight?
We was locked in, did what we needed to do, limit their shots, and, got on the glass and rebound, which we knew that, we didn't do such a great job in the last series.
Jimmy went back to Miami this year, but how do you think he responded to maybe an unfriendly environment coming back here tonight also?
I didn't think it was too much behind coming back to Minnesota, more than Miami, but Jimmy always wants to make a statement, so glad we got that done for him today.
You guys had 18 offensive rebounds. How'd you really play even bigger against this big Minnesota team?
Just being together, gang rebound, help Jimmy and Dre down there with big fellas, so emphasize he's coming back in gang rebound and then get out and running.
Anytime you lose Steph, obviously it's a big adjustment, a big scare. But when you have Jimmy, how does that change sort of the tenor of it?
You still get life, you got Jimmy and Dre. Buddy stepped up, made shots, made plays. But when you got another alpha like Jimmy, give him the ball and, play off him. So, we hold our breath when he went down. Steph went out, but, we still got Jimmy buckets.
You've had a hamstring strain before. What are the challenges in recovery, and what is that process like?
A lot of conditioning. You're gonna have to do a lot of conditioning to get back, but it's not fun. It's uncomfortable. Day to day, especially when early. You feel you got to get through it, get through the rest period where you got to let it heal. But other than that, you come back, attack rehab, and get back as soon as you can.
What are the keys offensively if you guys are without Steph for a game or two here?
Take care of the ball, get stops, rebound and run, try to get easy ones.
We've all seen Buddy and Jimmy go back and forth. It's hilarious. And Draymond said they were even going back and forth, I guess, kind of heated in the huddle. What's it like with those two guys? What's the competitive level when they're together? It's a moment like this. What was that like to see?
That was good. Big brother, little brother, and they're talking it out. They have a relationship where they can, have that conversation at a high level, high voices, and go back and forth. But it comes from a good place, and they're just trying to win and do the right thing and make the right plays. So, when that happens, they talk it out and figure it out, and at the end of the timeout, they're on the same page.
You had certainly your stints with Ant. What was going right with you guys the way you played him?
Just limit his touches, make it difficult, send him to crowds, make him finish over at the rim. He missed some easy ones today. Figures that he's going to come out game two more aggressive than he did today. So just continue to repeat that and just make it tough for him, make his catch tougher and limit his touches.
What has Pat Spencer brought to the group this season, and what do you expect from him in a bigger opportunity here?
Pat brings a lot of different pieces. His IQ, high IQ guy. He knows what we're trying to do. He comes in aggressive, makes plays, feisty, plays with a chip on his shoulder. He helps our team in very different ways. He's on the bench coaching. When he gets in, he knows how to play basketball at a high level. So, whenever he needs, whatever we need, Pat comes in, handles, gets us into our offense. He's just a jack of all trades.
I realize all hamstrings are different, but how long were you out, and what sort of? I mean, Steve was saying he doesn't expect Steph to be available Thursday right off the bat. But what's kind of the best case in your mind, having gone through it?
Be available Thursday.
Realistic best case. Let me rephrase.
Well, I haven't heard anything, but you probably got more info than me. So if that's the case, we got to have his back for one more game. You guys are great. Have a great night. Get out of here. It's 12 o'clock.
General update on Steph, any prognosis at all?
Just day to day, he'll get an MRI tomorrow.
Did you talk to him? Just what was
Yeah, I talked to him at halftime. Just, he's obviously crushed, but, the guys picked him up and played a great game. And obviously we're all, concerned about Steph, but it's part of the game. You just, guys get hurt and you move on. Our guys did a great job of moving on and getting a great win, 48 hours after a Game 7 road win. It's an amazing group of guys. These guys they compete and they're together. We've been the best defense in the league since the Jimmy trade, and that's what's keeping us afloat right now.
What's the message to the group when you find out Steph's out?
I didn't say anything. They, by the time we got into halftime into the locker room, Steph was already in there with an ice bag on his hamstring, and the guys already knew, and we didn't say anything. I just told Gary he'd start for Steph, and we talked about the plan for the second half.
What can you say just about Buddy Hield's full court, two-way, defensive stopper, shooting, whatever you want to call him?
Yeah.
How would you describe that, Buddy?
Buddy was following up that amazing Game 7. He was just crucial for us tonight. I think he started out the game 0 for 7, and we needed every one of his 24 points. With Steph out, we had very, very few options offensively, and the guys did a really good job of just defending and trying to run off misses so we could get the offense going before they could set up their defense. Not that it was a great transition game for us. I mean, we only had 6 fast break points, but when you're defending like that, you always have a chance. And some guys hit some big shots. Buddy's 3, Gary's 3. Jimmy had a bucket in that stretch where they cut it to, I think, 8 or so. So we did what we had to do. Great defense and, just kind of hang on in that fourth quarter.
What was Draymond doing just defensively to seem like he was everywhere all the time? Was there something particularly special about his effort tonight?
Well, Draymond was doing what Draymond's been doing for 13 years, for how many years he's been in this league. He's the best defensive player I've ever seen in my life. He was everywhere. He was guarding everyone. He just has a way of helping every single teammate by being in the right spot and thwarting different advantages that the opponent has. And he makes our defense go. He makes the game much easier for all of the other guys.
Hamstrings are particularly tricky to play through. Are you kind of operating under the assumption, game planning under the assumption over the next 24 hours that he probably won't be out there game 2?
Yeah. We're definitely game planning for him to not be available on Thursday, but we don't know yet.
Yeah.
But with a hamstring, it's hard to imagine that he would play Thursday.
What's kind of I know it's early and you'll have a day to really think about it, but as you reset the series without him, how do you find enough scoring?
We have to talk about that. We're going to give the players the day off tomorrow. Nothing, no film. They need a day. These games have been every other day. We're flying all the way across the country. Our guys are tired and they need a rest. They need the day. So the coaches will meet tomorrow and we'll figure out our plan for Thursday.
They missed their first 15 three-pointers, finished at 17%. What was the game plan? What was the keys to limiting them from the arc?
Well, we did a great job early of keeping them from getting many good looks. I thought their first 7 or 8 threes were tough threes. I'll watch the tape. Maybe I'm wrong, but it felt like our defense was responsible for the early threes. And sometimes, when you don't get open looks early as a team, you start to force things a little bit. And then when you do have an open one, you're not in rhythm. So I thought they had several really good looks late second quarter, mid second quarter. But we had done a good job taking them out of rhythm. We held them to 11 points in that second quarter. And so we established a really good defensive posture and mindset. And that was enough to really, swing the game. And we were able to hold them off in the second half.
Was the plan coming in to go 12 deep, just coming off of Sunday? Was that an adjustment with Steph going out?
No, that was an adjustment with Steph's injury, and we were completely winging it in the second half.
And then what did you think of just Pat and J.K. Looney?
Awesome. Every single guy who came off the bench contributed. I never really look at the stats after a playoff game. I just think about how guys competed. And I thought every guy who came off the bench, whether it was Moses or Gee, Loon, QP, Quentin was a plus 14 in 6 minutes, didn't take a shot, but he battled, and we were in a good run there with him. JK to come off the bench and play some important minutes when he hasn't been in the rotation, that was important. And we've seen Pat. He's a gamer. We know that. And those minutes were big. And if Steph doesn't go, Pat will definitely get more time Thursday.
Steve, you've talked about what a different dimension your offense has with Jimmy. And with Steph out, I would imagine that accentuates that. It looked like you went through Jimmy almost every possession.
Yeah.
How much, maybe it's obvious, but to have Jimmy when Steph goes down, how much does that change the dynamic?
It's massive. The game settles down. You could see the last, 6-8 minutes, all we were doing was high ball screens for Jimmy. And we were even willing to take shot clock violations at that point. It was all about protecting the ball. And Jimmy is, I think, as good as anybody, any star in the league at reading the game, understanding how to control the tempo, control the, time and score, understanding everything that's happening, and putting the ball in his hands in a situation like that is pretty comforting.
Jimmy also had 6 offensive rebounds, 2 steals in the first half. Like, how crucial are those little details,
Yeah.
especially going against Gobert and Randall?
Incredible anticipation, and I think that's one of the things that separates great players is the anticipation of what's happening at all times, both ends of the floor. Jimmy's got that sense.
Steve, you obviously are always going to err on the side of caution when it comes to Steph, especially with a hamstring. But how much does this win afford you to be a little extra careful?
I don't know that it affords me anything. I just listen to Rick Celebrini, and whatever Rick says goes. And he's the expert, and he's got an amazing feel for these guys. And I'm sure we'll get an update tomorrow. And whatever Rick says, that's what we're doing.
Because of how gutsy this one was, where would you say this kind of ranks for you personally of, winning without Steph, some of the wins you've gone through?
13th. Sorry.
You joke pregame about Buddy being your defensive stopper, but you do put him on Edwards to start this game.
Yeah.
Was that a statement of any kind, or just let's see what happens when we put Buddy on this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's based on what our options are, and two-way basketball. Can we get enough scoring at one end and enough defense at the other to make the game make sense? And Buddy makes the most sense. The way he's playing defensively, the way he's shooting the ball, it was a no-brainer to start Buddy.
Obviously, it's a long time ago, but Steph missed a bunch of playoff games in 2016 and 2018, and you guys survived. Yeah. Any lessons? What do you when you think about those games?
Yeah.
What do you take from that, or what does it matter at all?
Well, I think the difference at that time we had an all-time NBA roster. So those days we were well equipped to handle the loss of Steph. When you can bring Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala into the game to back up or take Steph's minutes, you're in pretty good shape. But there is a lesson. I mean, you have to understand what it takes to win a game without your best player. And tonight was a good indication of that. Draymond and Loon and Jimmy led the way just with the leadership on the sidelines, talking to the guys, recognizing if you battle for every loose ball, every rebound. I mean, we got 18 offensive rebounds. We out-rebounded them 51-41. Their guys are all 6 inches taller than all of our guys, so it's about the intensity, the heart, the fight. And if you do that and you give yourself a chance, then you just find ways to score. We made 18 threes. And like I said, we had a lot of guys make big shots. Draymond, 4 threes in the first half. Gary made that huge 3 late to kind of stem the tide. So it's about defending, taking care of the ball, and just finding ways to score.
All right. Draymond is ready.
Thank you.
All right,